Hey. Kitch. Kitch. Oh, you looking at me? Hi. No? Alright. So, another new playlist I'm going to begin. I think I've already mentioned this, but I'll do this will be the introduction to it. Is several discussions or facets of group lessons. Why group lessons are good, how group lessons should be organized and monitored, and how they help better develop a skater's progress than private lessons. This is totally contrary to the current very old-fashioned mentality in Nova Scotia. Parents believe that in order to get more progress, more efficiency, more time, more excellence out of their skaters, more progress, they need all private lessons, a lot of private lessons. I've even run into it this year. This is, in major skating centers in Ontario, and the major successful clubs, successful competitive clubs, the ones who produce national and internationally successful skaters year after year after year, they've completely moved away from private lessons and into group lessons. Barrie, Ontario, the Mariposa Club, it's not the Barrie Club, sorry, they're two different things. Same rink, two different things. The Mariposa Club kind of pioneered the whole group lesson thing about 30 years ago, maybe earlier, and they've kind of been working on mastering it for 10 or 20 years, and are considered certainly one of the pioneers in mastering group lesson formats, progressing through a group lesson format. And they tend to get skaters that are willing to put the time, the effort, and the money into skating. So if they're totally capable of completely blitzing the private lessons, but they've decided there that, in the same way I decided in Labrador, that it's a completely inefficient system, teaching private lessons. If you have 4 skaters working on an axle, even in various stages of an axle, and you give them each a half-hour lesson to fill up 2 hours of lesson time, you could probably do a more thorough, better, more generalized, more applicable, more efficient job giving those 4 skaters a 45-minute group lesson. And now you've done a better job. You've described 45 minutes of technique, basic technique in an axle, and now you have an extra hour and a half. They have an extra hour and a half to work on that. They have a little more information, maybe information that they didn't need exactly at the time that you wouldn't have shared in a private lesson, because it's a group lesson and student C ended up needing the info, you shared it, and later on down the road it helps student A. They all save money, they all get to practice their technique quicker. And the coach ends up having an extra hour of lesson time. It just ends up being better all the way around. Anyway, I'm going to try to explain this. I'm going to try to bite off some sections of group lesson format, and share that with you. I suspect at some point I'm going to want to interview somebody from a club that runs in a group lesson format. Currently in Halifax Metro, nobody does, no club does. There are no real group lesson formats for multiple levels. The clubs are starting to accept that you can do a group lesson format to introduce people to figure skating, which is good, but it can go way beyond that, and currently it doesn't in Halifax, in Metro, in Nova Scotia. And this is a significant weakness in the development of our skaters that perhaps through these videos I will address. So at some point I'm going to have to interview someone from a club outside Halifax, outside the area, preferably someone from a club that's been running group lesson sessions, group lesson formats from top to bottom for enough years to have a really strong understanding and ability to vocalize, and explain the reasoning and process for why they do what they're doing, and can stand up to my grilling and picking apart their procedure. Because obviously my job will be devil's advocate to try to wring as much info as I can from the interviews, but that's to come in the future, after I what's the word? Opine myself a few times on it. Bye.